But the thing about that is hope is not a strategy. Hope is just a dream. And you can hope and hope and hope, but it will not get you to where you want to be. Neither will it serve the clients that you're trying to reach out and serve. So, you need a defined system. What is your secret sauce that solves the problem that gets them what they want? Write it out, define it, figure out how you're going to deliver it. Good morning, entrepreneur fam. Look, today I want to talk to you about a critical topic, and that is about breaking through the six-figure level. Listen, there are over 36 million registered businesses in the United States, and out of all of them, the vast majority, well over 90%, make $50,000 or less a year. Yet when you ask an entrepreneur that's just starting out or has been in the game for a little while, what is that level they want to reach where it would signal to them that they've broken through and they've really changed the game for themselves and their financial situation? Invariably, it's the six-figure mark. And they'll generally say that by saying, well, if I could make $10,000 a month. So that's what we want, but that's not what we get based on statistics. The problem we fail to break through that six-figure mark is not because of lack of effort. Entrepreneurs are hardworking people. We have visions. We want to get there. We have dreams. The problem is we fail because we keep making predictable mistakes that most of us make, and they silently kill our ability to profit and profit well. The good news is, though, if we identify those problems, those profit killers, we can fix them. So that's what I'm here to share with you today. What are those profit killers and how do you fix them? So I've got 6 that I want to cover for you today because these are the most common ones, and these are the ones that we can easily get done. Fix them. Now, so just understand, we're not talking about more marketing. We're not talking about more content. We're not talking about followers. It's not about time. It's about zeroing in on these 6 profit killers and making sure that we are not shooting ourselves in the foot and killing our ability to get to the six-figure mark. So let's jump right into profit killer number 1, and that is lack of clear vision, goals, and targets. See, as entrepreneurs, we get started because we have the dream. We feel the dream. Financial freedom, time freedom. I don't have to ask for time off. I can go see my kids whenever I want to. I can take vacation whenever I want to. If I'm sick and I don't feel like coming in, I can do that. And we just say, once we get started, I just want my business to grow. Here's the thing. Wanting your business to grow, wanting your business to make a lot of money is not a clear target. It's not a clear vision. It's not a clear goal. That's a wish. You've got to define how much money you want to make, who you want to serve, what you want your day-to-day life to look like in your business, what's your purpose, and what's your direction. See, a lot of people, most people, I'm not even going to say a lot, don't sit down and zero in on those things. Like, they don't take out a pad and paper and say, well, this is how much I want to make. These are the days of the week I want to work. These are the hours I want to work. This is what I want to give by way of value to my community that I'm serving. This is basically the life I want to live. Until you take time to zero in on those goals, those targets, that vision, that life that you want to create in the course of running your business, you're just going to make random decisions. And the truth of the matter is, without a destination, progress becomes random. So we want to define each one of those things, because until we do, it's going to be a major profit killer, that lack of clear vision, goals, and targets. And it's going to keep you from zeroing in, focusing on that six-figure mark and what you need to do to get there. So you have scattered effort all along. And with scattered effort, you go all and running in all different directions all at once, but you never go in the direction that you need to go. All right. I want you to keep this in mind before I move on to the next point. And this was something I fell into. Before I got clear on my goals and my vision and what I wanted things to look like, every road felt like the right one, so I was ready to run down it. Once you know what your vision is, no one can shake you from that. You will get going where you need to go, and you'll stay focused there, and you won't let people come along to you with random opportunities that will pull you off course, because again, that scatters your effort and doesn't get you to where you need to go. All right. Profit killer number 2, not knowing your ideal customer. God, this was a thing with me. I wanted to please everyone. I wanted to serve everyone. I felt like, well, if I serve this person but don't serve that person, then I'm leaving money on the table. This will be a thing that you'll think, and other people will say to you all the time, well, if you don't go over here and get this money, then you're just leaving money on the table. And so here's what you're like. You're like that person in the money booth with all the dollar bills blowing around, and you're reaching here and you're reaching there and you're reaching down there and you're reaching down there and you're trying to stuff it into your pocket. You have no clear strategy on where you want to go or who you want to talk to. So you try to serve everyone. Your message becomes generic. And because of that, it doesn't land on the people that you can best serve. And until you grab their attention, that group that you were designed by your experience and your makeup and your skills to serve, you're not going to land with them, and you're not going to draw them in and get them to listen to you. So you've got to understand who your ideal customer is, where they live, what is their major problem that they want to solve, and then figure out how do you message them in such a way that you actually show them, I can help you solve that problem to get the thing that you've been craving so long. So you've got to know who your ideal customer is. Remember, clarity attracts customers. Confusion repels them. So you always want to make sure that in identifying your ideal customer avatar, knowing who they are, what their problems are, where they live, and what they want, then you craft your message to appeal to all of those different things. And once you start doing that, you'll start seeing more customers coming in. And that, my friend, will move you well along the road toward that six-figure target. Now, here's another profit killer. Number 3 is undefined or constantly changing offers. And this stems from the previous one, not knowing your ideal customer. So once you know your ideal, let me just back it up. If you don't know your ideal customer and you're trying to serve everyone, you're always going to be changing your offer. Well, maybe this will work where that didn't work before. Maybe I need to change my price. Maybe I need to change my service. Maybe I need to change my message. Maybe I need to change the time of day that I post. Maybe I need to change the number of times I post a week. And you're constantly listening to different bits of advice. And it has you running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But once you know who your ideal customer is in a previous step, now you can zero in on your offer. But if you don't know that, you're going to have profit killer number 3, which is undefined or constantly changing offers. So one day your price is this, the next day is that. Because you see this person over here offering their service at this price and you think that's your competition. Let's just get one thing out of the way. Until you understand that there is no competition, you will not understand that you have something special that speaks to a specific group of people who are looking for you, who are waiting for you to show up. But until you get what they need and show it to them, they will not know you exist, and they will not raise their hand and say, I want that, take my money. So don't fall into the trap of changing your price constantly, changing your service, changing your message. Understand that this is what my product is going to be, or my service. It is going to solve this problem. It is going to create this result. I am going to use this system that I have created and shown by proof of concept, either in my life or in the lives of others that I've helped, that this actually works. Because until you do all of that stuff, a confused offer creates confused customers, and they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, well, what do they really do? And I know what my problem is. Or should I say, a lot of people don't even know what their problem is. They know what they want. It's up to you to identify what problem is standing in the way and how to get them there. But if you create an offer that speaks to what they want, they will raise their hand and be like, I'm all in, this is what I want. But until that, when you have confused offers and you're constantly changing up all of these things I talked about, your customers are going to be confused, and that creates no. I'm just not ready to say yes to you. All right, that's 3 down. Let's turn to profit killer number 4. You do not have a minimum viable sales system. This again leads from the previous one we talked about, because once you have your offer clearly defined, and you know what you want to accomplish as by way of solving problems, getting results, the time frame that you want to get it in, now you can move on to your minimum viable sales system. But entrepreneurs fall into this trap. They don't have that minimum viable sales system. In other words, what is the process, the repeatable thing that I can do every time I have someone in front of me that is going to lead them down a path to get them to where they want to be and get them to the thing that they most desire, that has just been escaping them all their lives. So what that looks like is they post content, they network, and then they wait. And they hope. But the thing about that is hope is not a strategy. Hope is just a dream. And you can hope and hope and hope, but it will not get you to where you want to be. Neither will it serve the clients that you're trying to reach out and serve. So, you need a defined system. What is your secret sauce that solves the problem that gets them what they want? Write it out, define it. Figure out how you're going to deliver it. Is it going to be in a live presentation? Is it going to be in the form of a book? Is it going to be in the form of a course that you create and you sell to people? Will it be by way of live speaking engagements that you engage in? These are the questions that you need to answer, because in order for you to scale to that level where you're making 6 figures, it has to be solid, it has to be defined, it has to be repeatable, and it has to be something that works for everyone in the class of people that you want to serve and help. And the more people you help get what they want, the more things you'll get that you want. That's something that Brian Tracy said. And you can't get around that. It's been proven time and time again. And I know that once I zeroed in on my system, mine being the SMART system, once I clearly defined that, which took me years to get to, I was able to now have a system that repeats itself and leads me down a predictable path of income, because I know if I do this, this, and this at this rate of process, then I can expect this in return. You can't control what people say. You can't always control the outcome. You can control your activity, and your activity, once consistent and engaged in over a considerable amount of time, will give you a predictable income. Revenue is predictable only when the process is predictable. But if your process changes up all the time, then your revenue will be unpredictable. And it'll be up this month, down the next. Probably down most months. But you won't get to that six-figure month until you have that defined minimum viable sales system. All right, profit killer number 5, poor time and priority management. This is something that so many people suffer from, and that is that they wake up in the morning and they decide what they're going to do that day. If the sun has risen and you don't already know what you're going to do for the day, you're already lost. So what happens is you're busy all day doing a bunch of different things. You're busy all day trying to figure out what you need to do, and then this phone call rings or this person calls and says, oh, I know we were supposed to meet at this particular time, but my schedule just opened up and I can meet you today. Can we do that? You're apt to say yes. And wealth does not come in yes. Wealth comes in your ability to say no. If you talk to millionaires and billionaires, they will tell you they got to where they got to because they had the ability to say no. And the only way they had the ability to say no was their day was already blocked out. They knew what task they had to engage in order to get the predictable outcome that they wanted for their business and their income. So they said, this does not align with that. I know I have to do this today to get to where I want to go. And so I have to say no. So the real question that you need to ask yourself at the end of the day is, did the things I do today generate revenue today? Or was I just spinning on a hamster wheel engaging in activity? Once we engage in that question and answer, then we know we can get the results that we want. All right? Activity creates motion. Revenue creates progress. All right, profit killer number 6, inconsistent offers and sales conversations. See, most business owners don't fail because they can't sell. They fail because they don't ask. And having been in sales, I know that this is a problem with most salespeople. They'll go through the presentation, they'll present all the bells and whistles of the product or the service and compare it to the conversation, but then at the end of it, they don't actually ask. And until you ask, you'll never get an answer. So always make the offer, ask for their yes, and then wait. And if they say no, they say no. Here's the thing with that. What you have to do is decide, I am going to make X amount of offers this day and this X amount of offers this week. And I know if I do this mathematically and consistently, it will result in X amount of dollars at the end of said period. So I know what my closing rate is. So I know that if I make X amount of offers, then X amount of people are going to say yes. And so I know how much activity I have to engage in order to get the income level I want. But you only get that knowledge by doing the work and getting the data. So you know, most people are like, well, they'll give all the information and then they'll wait, they'll hesitate, they won't ask, they'll get frustrated because people don't say yes when they expect them to, and they have commission breath. They get all excited, they let the person know, I need you to say yes. Whereas a person who knows their numbers says, I don't need you to say yes, because I know if I do this enough times, then the number of people who I need to say yes will show up. I don't need you to say yes today. I got other people waiting in line. So you don't have a sales problem, you have an asking problem. And you have to get consistent offers and sales in order to get yourself on a track where you can get to that 6 figures. So those are your 6 profit killers. Good news is, boys and girls, I have a new offer for you, and that is the 6 profit killers that keep you stuck below 6 figures. So you go to my website at intentionalmoneysolutions.com and you scroll down and you will see that in the offers section, and you just click on it, you'll go to the site, you can download it for free. It will take you through all of these things, and it will even give you questions to reflect on to make you stop and think, what am I doing? Is this my problem? How do I fix it? All right, guys. Well, I hope you found value in this, because if you did, great. You are well on your way to getting to 6 figures. But please download my free e-guide, because it will show you where you're falling short, what's killing your ability to profit and get to 6 figures, so that you can get those things out of the way, not have them be obstacles, and you can see 6 figures on your way in the future. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this, please like it, comment, share it to somebody who you know could benefit from it also. All right, that's it. You have a great day, a fantastic week, and I will see you back here again soon.